activities of the past week. So if we may, we'll box on with our usual format. Thanks very much, Rhonda. The usual format, of course, involves the attention getters that bookmaker friend and Bay Desert Race Club committeeman Wayne Gannon comes up with. But it's been a very unusual contribution from Wayne this morning, because the Brisbane program, which is on the start of the Queensland Winter Racing Carnival, it's a massive program in Brisbane today with 10 races, and Wayne has said it's such a tough meeting. He didn't want to tip much for the sake of tipping, because he draws attention to only one horse today in the Metropolitan meeting in Brisbane in race 5, number 11, Vitae Synergy was having its first run after a spell, and for some reason or other that's attracted Wayne's attention. And race 5, number 11, was his one and only attention getter in the Brisbane Carnival today, which is a massive race meeting today as the start of the Queensland Winter Racing Carnival. He did draw attention to one other horse down south at Hawkesbury. No racing in Sydney today, a very unusual day. No racing in Sydney, but in race 6 at Hawkesbury, Wayne drew attention to one that he thought might perform reasonably well, the Top Weight Tactical Advantage. Though that's a much shorter price than his Brisbane selection, but race 6, number 1, Tactical Advantage, Wayne thought might perform reasonably well at that Hawkesbury meeting this afternoon. Local trainer Shane Galinsky last night came up with 3 selections. Shane had a spectacular week last week. He had 4 selections, one of them with the weather still having a tremendous impact on racing. A couple of races got washed out in both Gold Coast and Brisbane last weekend, and one of Shane's selections didn't get around on Saturday. But the other 3 that he had a winner and 2 placings at good value in his other selections for the day last Saturday. He's come back from all this morning with 3 only selections. He started off in Brisbane race 10, number 11. The last race of the day, race 10, number 11, Chapter and Verse, was the only runner he liked in Brisbane today. He thought in Sydney, or rather Hawkesbury, Rainier, race 7, number 1, is his attention getter there in Hawkesbury today. Rainier in race 7, number 1, the top weight. He then ventured to Adelaide, which is a bit unusual for Shane, but in race 6 at Adelaide he drew attention to Bring Me Roses, race 6, number 4, Bring Me Roses. That's a listed race at Adelaide today, a black type race in Adelaide. Bring Me Roses, race 6, number 4. The past week saw a lot of activity, of course, in the Scenic Rim area, with the mixed results coming in from the local training fraternity. A lot of the trainers saved their horses for the meeting at the Bay Desert track on Anzac Day. That traditional Anzac Day meeting turned out to be once again one of the biggest meetings of the year, probably the biggest meeting of the year. It was a huge crowd. Apparently it was very much larger crowd than even last year, and a very good meeting, well patronised, excellent racing, very competitive racing, and a great social occasion with a lot of activity going on there in addition to the local race program. It should have shown how hard it is to getting into the winner's circle, with only one local trainer achieving a winning result there on Saturday. But there were some excellent placings during the course of the day, and it was a very competitive race meeting. You've got to remember, it was a tremendous boost to the local economy. The Scenic Rim benefited so much from the visitors for those full fields on Anzac Day. And it's interesting to note that we had visitors to the Scenic Rim and Bay Desert race meeting in particular from Eagle Farm, Doomben and Egan in Brisbane, the Sunshine Coast, Toowoomba, Oakey, Allara, Warwick, Northern Rivers in New England, including Ballina and Glen Innes, Gatton, Lockyer Valley, Ipswich, and Auralee from outside Mackay, all visiting Bay Desert on Anzac Day for that race meeting, with a tremendous economic impact for the local area on that Anzac Day meeting. I'll deal with the results from that meeting first this morning. The results coming out of it, as I said, there's only one winning result through local trainers, but we'll go through the placings because Ben Robinson managed to get a third there with Alfie Jr., as did Matthew John Dunn with the third with Corsini. Bill Aarons managed a second with Lucky Fix. There's some very close results there. Ross Howard achieved a third with Dances with Time. Ray Litton, we got a second, a very good second I might add there, with Send Us a Sign. And there was another one there for MJ Dunn with Raven's Wing getting a minor prize money check for fourth. Ben Robinson again got a second with Lawasi. That was a very tight race. That was taken out by one of the Gold Coast representatives racing at Bay Desert. Darlene Jure managed a minor prize money check with fourth with Big Little Lies, and it was the last race of the day saw the only Bay Desert trained horse getting into the winner's circle, and that was trained by Laurie Richardson, senior trainer at the Bay Desert track. Laurie got into the winner's circle there with all one class. That was a classic win too, because that was a real Bay Desert result, because that was ridden by Brooke Ainsworth. She rode an extremely well judged race. Stewards took a bit of an interest in that result because previously that horse, all one class, had its previous start boxed up and couldn't get a look at them, and the stewards questioned Brooke as to why she changed the tactics, and she said she didn't want to let that happen again, so she went to the front of the race at sharing the lead early, so she didn't get boxed in. She then went straight to the lead about 3 furlongs from home, and the further they went, the better the horse looked, and Brooke rode a beautiful race, beautifully balanced race, and the horse just kept on going and won very comfortably in that last race of the day on Anzac Day. There was another result there, fourth with for MJ Dunn with the Big Eater, and it was great to see that overall result coming out there for Laurie Richardson. Laurie and his wife Helen have been great supporters over as long as I can remember for the Bay Desert Race Club, both in helping out with maintenance of the track and administration over a long period of time, and it's great to see recompense coming to them. Did a great job Laurie did with that horse for its owners in that last race of the day on Anzac Day. Ben Aarons also managed a third at the Sunshine Coast with King Luther during the week, and James Hepworth again achieved a win at Ipswich with a little crafty. James got into the winner's circle there at Ipswich. That was the second winning result for the week for the Bay Desert trainers. Greg Cornish managed a third at Ipswich with that speedy short course specialist of his, High Cost. High Cost doesn't like to travel much more than about 900 metres. That race was 1,000 metres, and it was just run down right on the post to run third. Our stars for the week, usually I'd like to mention a couple of stars for the week, and obviously they are self-selected this week. They're sharing it. The special star mention for the week for the local trainers is Laurie Richardson, of course, and James Hepworth, both in the winner's circle during the week, so they get a star mention for the week in the course of those activities. Runners today, the fascinating day today. There's a huge meeting in Brisbane with 10 races. As Wayne backed away from making any numerous selections there. No meeting in Toowoomba or the Gold Coast or Sydney today. The big meeting at Dalby, it's a festival weekend in Dalby today, and we've got a contingent going to Dalby from Bay Desert to compete up there. In the second race we've got number 6 Gnarly Charlie for Ben Aarons. In the fourth race, number 3 the Dutch Gal is trained by Bob Mahon, and Bob also has in race 7 number 9 Landale competing in Dalby today. And Greg Cornish is also heading to Dalby for the 8th race, number 3 Animal Instinct. So a very interesting day, and a contingent going from Bay Desert to Dalby for that big meeting. That's the only meeting in Queensland today, the secondary TAB meeting. with the big meeting in Brisbane. And as I said, no races at the Gold Coast or Toowoomba today. So Dalby takes precedence for the provincial meeting in Queensland today. During the course of the week at the Sunshine Coast last Sunday, Ben Aarons had a placing there with King Luther, and the Sunshine Coast. Now we've got the Sunday meeting at 10 races at the Sunshine Coast coming. Ben Aarons is in the first race with number 3 King Luther. Diane Murphy's going up there too with race 5 number 6 Toga Picta, and Ben Aarons is taking Hollywood Fantasy to the Sunshine Coast, number 15 in race 7, and also in that race number 18 the Ponster, trained by Kelvin Hickman. Now those horses again could fall into that unfortunate balloting situation because they're emergencies, and it's questionable as to whether they will get a run. Hopefully there'll be enough scratchings there to ensure that they do get a run. Kelvin Hickman also has in race 8 number 19 Lady Mossman. Mark Palmer going back to race 6 has Normanton at the Sunshine Coast tomorrow, and also an emergency, number 19. And in the 10th race, the last race of the day, Ben Aarons has Miss Amanda, number 12, in the last race at the Sunshine Coast tomorrow. Those races, of course, will be viewable on the Sky Racing channels. Still continuing the big meeting in Brisbane today. As I said, 10 races. It's a really tough day, and it's tough when you're competing, as our local trainers are competing with the Sydney Invasion. The names like Lees, Waller, Snowden and Gary Moore, all the stables on the Gold Coast or Northern Rivers now, and the Sydney trainers are very evident in that meeting at Brisbane today, with Lees, Waller, Snowden, Moore, etc. competing at Eagle Farm. Some of our Bow Desert trainers are taking on the tough Eagle Farm company today, and Ben Aarons is heading up there and has accepted with Chillin' with Dylan in race 2 number 8. Dale Enduray is going up there with Chikorita, number 12 in race 4, and Diane Murphy's also taking on the Brisbane Saturday Metropolitan Company with Mashani Phoenix in race 6 number 9. Very tough day, and those trainers are taking on the toughest competition in the industry there today at that meeting in Brisbane. There's a Grafton meeting on Monday too, and Ben Aarons is accepted down there with King Luther and Phony Pony. The next meeting of the Bow Desert, or for the Bow Desert Race Club, will be on the 22nd of June, which of course is the big Bow Desert Cup meeting, which falls right in the middle of the Queensland Winter Racing Carnival. That meeting's been heavily promoted and run by the Gold Coast Turf Club on behalf of the Bow Desert Race Club at the Bow Desert Aquas track. And before that, we've got the Bow Desert Hibernian Race Club charity meeting coming up. That Hibernian Club, of course, have 100 years of history supporting various charities, and has done a great job. Very erstwhile committee, a very active committee, promoting that Hibernian meeting, and the charities that they've supported the benefit over a long period of time. The charity this particular meeting is the Blue Tree Project, which has mental health issues as its main direction, and it's great to see the Hibernian Club promoting these meetings for these charitable purposes. And that's on Saturday the 18th of May. The committee have organised a great day for that, a great program for that day. Tremendous array of activities planned there for both adults and children. The gate entry is $10 and children get in free on that day. So it should be a tremendous day for the Hibernian Club on Saturday the 18th of May. Special acknowledgement also to our online listeners this morning. I've done a little bit of research in recent times with travellers overseas and other people tuned into FM 101.5, keeping in touch with the local activity in the thoroughbred breeding and racing industry, and we've had feedback from various sources that have been able to tune in Brisbane. This is all online. Brisbane and Windsor near Ascot in London, in England, London itself, Sydney, Dubai, Belarus, and a whole range of other places, Ballina, Darwin, Townsville, Perth, Mornington, the ACT and Kununurra in Western Australia, all been able to benefit from the penetration by the radio waves of the scenic rim and listening online and keeping in touch with the activities while they're not around for the activity here at the Bay Desert Track. Don't forget our Facebook site on facebook.com/racing radio show. There's a tremendous amount of activity there, both in the industry and also relating to the Bay Desert Club, and there's a lot of information there regarding current affairs that make it very interesting reading. Keep in touch also with the Bay Desert Race Club website to keep in touch with the activities and upcoming events there. And it should be a great afternoon, a lounge room day at the races today. The Brisbane program is attracting a lot of attention because of the involvement of Australia's best sprinter, Red Cell. Red has racing in Brisbane today, and he is likely to be very much in danger of losing his crown. Red Excel, he's a champion sprinter, but in recent times he's lost to other horses and only just hanging on to his crown. But he's up here early for the Brisbane Winter Racing Carnival, Queensland Winter Racing Carnival. So it's a spectacular day at that Brisbane meeting this afternoon. So with that, Rhonda, thank you very much for getting us to air, and we look forward to talking to you again next Saturday morning at 8:05. And in the meantime, we thank the listeners for having us at their place, and hope there's some good results coming out of those activities that we talked about this morning. Thank you.